Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new chapter of our Equalink interview sessions. Today, we have the privilege of delving into the critical issue of gender equality in the science sector, an area where progress is really vital for innovation, especially. And we're joined by a remarkable scientist whose expertise spans nanotechnology, biotechnology, biophysics, and much more. We're very happy about that to welcome you here, Carolina Santacruz. With a master's degree in biotechnology, a PhD in biophysics, and 4 postdoctorates in fields ranging from microbiology to bioinformatics. You bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to our discussion, and we're very excited to explore all your insights on the challenges, but of course also opportunities for achieving gender equality in science, in the science sector.
Ha sido increíble. Gracias de verdad, Carolina, por estar aquí con nosotros. Es increíble toda la experiencia que tú tienes y que podamos tenerte acá para hablar de igualdad de género en un campo que ha sido realmente complicado también para las mujeres ingresar. Históricamente tenemos muchas mujeres en ciencia que han luchado muchísimo por hacer, y tú has hecho un impacto increíble en todas las cosas que haces. Sabes que te admiramos un montón, que eres de verdad un orgullo nacional para el país, para Colombia y para todas las cosas que tú haces. And I want to remark about that you are impressive in all your background that you have in your career. You're a member of a steering committee in the Latin American and the Caribbean chapter of International Network for Government Science and Advice. And also the Tech and Disaster Risk Reduction Committee of the UNDRRLAC and chair of the Colombia chapter of the Organization of Women in Science for the Developing World. You are also a mentor in the Leading Women in STEM program in Mexico and a member of the International Network of SDG Promoters and the Women in Alternative Investment Network. Furthermore, you are the founder of Brains, a company that develops a STEM-focused scientific and technological program for international schools in Brazil and Asia. So it's an amazing profile. We're really proud to have you here. And well, let's start with the question. This is going to be an amazing interview with you.
Well, thank you very much. I'm deeply thankful for the invitation of Janina and Claudia. Please let me know the ways in which I can collaborate with any initiatives towards supporting participation of women in STEM fields. And I'm very, very happy to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation again.
Thank you. So for the first question, we would like to reflect on your career and to ask you what have been the most significant gender-related challenges you faced, and how have you actually navigated them to achieve your professional goals?
Thank you, Janina. I was reflecting on this question because even though I have participated in several forums, conferences related with gender, I don't used to call gender as a vulnerability. I used to like much to, or better to advocate for our superpower or our superpowers. And in the case of speaking about women in science, I think knowledge is our superpower. And if we have passed through several revolutions, and if we can recall it as muscles, let's call it the first industrial revolution was about strength. And then we passed through a technological revolution that was about brains. But I think we should also call now for a new revolution related with hearts, with empathy, with how can we use knowledge better in order to serve better to our planet, to the general species, not only to humans, but we need to pursue whatever that connect us better with the planet, because we have never passed through a poly crisis as we are passing nowadays. And I think in cases of poly crisis, women need to come to support whatever the world is doing to overcome those crises. Not only because it is our right and because we have quotes to do that, and now is a very good moment to be a woman because of the so many opportunities that are becoming reality for women, but also because we are more of the half of the population, and we need to contribute with solutions. We need to contribute with knowledge, with science, with evidence for our governments to make better decisions. So yes, it is important to speak about now gender challenges, but at the same time, for me, it is also worthwhile to call for action. No, and I think when we are speaking about action, women need to be there, contributing in the same, with the same capacities or beyond. But if I try to recall something that I have found challenging in my career, and that is related with gender, it could be that being a young woman in a very senior environment could be challenging, because it seems women need to do more effort to show that they are intelligent, that they are capable, that they are uh, responsible, uh, that we know how to run big challenges, big companies, big projects, and I think we are showing that through results. But I can find it as a challenge, because if you're not producing results, uh, then it could be that people make you feel like if you are too young and unprepared, and that you don't have voice. So in order to or women's or young women to have voice, they need to dedicate themselves to be the best, to be highly professional and serious in what they are doing, uh, which is not a challenge. If we like what we do, but at the same time, I think we make more efforts than a man in order to be accepted in challenging roles if we are young and if we are women. Uh, but the only thing that I could say or I could advise is that if you're working with passion, the moment for recognition and for people hearing your voice and your advices is going to come at any time, because that is the payoff for hard work.
Thank you
Wow,
so
that's
much.
really amazing. I totally agree with you, because we have to show that we are capable, we are intelligent, and we have to be more work more than sometimes another person to demonstrate our capabilities. So I'm totally agree. That happened to me in finance. That is another sector for young women that is not pretty easy sometimes. So I understand you so well. So thank you so much for insight in with that questions. And for the second question, we would like to know what initiative or programs has the International Science Council implemented to address gender disparity in science and technology fields?
Well, I think the International Science Council has brought so many important learnings for what we are doing as a scientific community, and I think the first thing that the International Science Council has done is joining together scientific organizations related to all fields. Sometimes we used to relate science with hard sciences, no, with exact physical and natural sciences. But the most important flag of the new International Science Council has been the integration between exact sciences and social sciences. And with that, I think no, all women that are producing knowledge in all scientific areas, including the social and human sciences, uh, have had the opportunity of raising their voices within the International Science Council ecosystem, which is huge, because we are speaking of more than 260 organizations dedicated to sciences. That includes national academies of sciences, international scientific unions, international scientific associations, and among those associations, there are many of them dedicated to raising the voice of women in science. One that I can mention is the Organization for Women in Science for the Developing World. It's an international organization, member of the International Science Council, with base in Italy, in Trieste, and with the support of UNESCO and also the Third World Academy of Sciences, and is dedicated to increase the visibility of what women are doing when they are working in science within developing countries, which is more challenging. If we compare what we can do as women working in science, if we were in advanced institutions or laboratories around the world. But if we compare that what we are doing or capable of doing in the global south, so 10,000 women in science being part of these organizations of this organization with an international chapter, regional chapters, national chapters. So I represent one of those chapters, and I can say working with 200, more than 250 women scientists working at national and in diaspora, at national level and in scientific diaspora, has been a great pleasure because this organization is very active. And through that organization, we have been able of connecting with several other organizations, working with women in entrepreneurship, women's in IT, women's in digital era areas, women's developing knowledge. So if you consult what the ISC is doing in terms of promoting these organizations in events related with gender equity, there are many plenty of events that are being celebrated by the ISC in order to promote participation of women in science, calling them to participate in important forums, including high-level political forums, and also bringing their voices to the United Nations General Assembly. I think what we are seeing is more young women being called to roles of leadership. The International Science Council also dedicates a lot of efforts in forming those capacities, building capacities in leadership, building capacities in science diplomacy, building capacities in science advice, building capacities in science communication, and also bringing women every time there's opportunity to fill that gap because it exists. So no, depending on a ad hoc request that we receive from the United Nations to participate on, or call experts as reviewers, or to produce statements, or to participate in the production of a policy brief. The International Science Council always call women to participate into these calls. Women who belong to the global south, or in our case, our mission is to bring the voices of Latin American women in science, and that has allowed to know more women in important roles or as leaders in many initiatives that are important when we are speaking of representing our regions, in front of these high-level political forums, the voices of early and mid-career researchers, the voices of women in science, and I think it is a pleasure for me to be part of an organization that is so worried about bringing those voices, representing all of our voices, including the voices of women in science, bringing the voices of the regions, forming capacities, building capacities in every field in which we find there's gaps in the regions. So I have learned, and I keep learning a lot from what the International Science Council is doing. And we do everything that is in our hands to bring those women to lead projects. Actually, most of our staff in Paris, or being part of the Global Science Unit in the Science Policy Unit within the ISC, they are women, and although we share several projects with amazing men, we also have amazing women leading and running incredible projects. So yeah, it is very rewarding to be being part of an organization that is so worried about um, raising our voices of uh, representation from all groups.
Thank you so much for sharing these beautiful insights and these important initiatives that the International Science Council is working on. I think it's still way too rare that organizations are so worried about this topic, about the topic of gender equality, and I think also like promoting the fact that women in science can raise their voices also in front of, like you said, important international organizations, or for instance at the General Assembly at the UN, is like super important also in order to bring role models, right? Like role models for younger women, also for women who maybe don't dare to go into the science or tech industry. So very, very, very interesting. Thank you very much. And speaking of role models, I would like to ask you, how do you encourage young women or women in general to pursue careers in nanotechnology, in biotechnology, in biophysics, or in general in science and tech?
Thank you, Janina. Well, I think we will speak about nanotechnology, or about the fields in which I have run my career. Uh, I must say that at the beginning, I thought it was rare, no, to find many women working with biophysics or with protein crystallography. But I think what I could say in order to promote I have done in my career. Inside the analysis of molecules at atomic level, or working with physical tools in order to analyze biological samples, is that more and more we are showing that science is transdisciplinary. And even though we keep publishing our work in journals dedicated to each of the areas, no specific areas, we have started publishing as well in transdisciplinary journals. And that is the perfect show of how science is about systems. And it's very rich to be part of an international research center in which you can connect with professionals from all areas. It's so much knowledge, and that knowledge is happening while you're preparing experiments, while you're circulating in the lab, while you are collaborating to use an equipment or a device, while you are writing a proposal and then producing a paper together, because you are using the same infrastructure. Even if it is in the same research center, of if you have had the opportunity of making an internship and working with a more international environment. I think being a scientist is passionate, because it's everything about learning how the world works. And I have a conference in which I speak of the lessons that I have received in my trajectory, because I have done so many things in so many countries and in so many institutions, that I can collect thousands of lessons. And some of those lessons that I have put together in a conference speaks a bit of what I have learned from being perfectionist, and try to do everything you're doing, no matter if you don't understand why are you occupying that seat. But I can just advise and encourage women to do it as if you were the best, because then in the future you will see to your back, and you will see all dots are connected. So no matter if you don't understand why are you there, you do it as a perfectionist. There's another lesson that I will mention as as something that we should do, and is looking for the opportunity to test your ideas, because sometimes we have learned how important it is to sell everything we do, because we are selling ideas at every moment. So get good at selling your ideas, get the opportunity to prove them through results, check on your numbers, show your numbers. So you can follow something more related with the scientific method in order to get approval and go forward with your pilots and your ideals. I will also share that it is important to be creative, and the creativity used to come mostly in challenging times, and we could feel no, like loss and failure is something really bad, but actually it is the perfect moment for purification and illumination. So be creative, even if you're feeling you're failing. I think it is important also to be in part of communities, no, and creating new bonds, no, staying on top of what happens outside your bubble. It is also important to learn different languages, and with that, I mean literally, yes, it is important to speak in several languages, but also not only literary languages, but what we need to learn in order to be more transdisciplinary, as I was saying, going beyond your field and learning from all other fields, because even the dog learns how to move in order to survive. And I think it is important also to get engaged with outreach and engagement activities, so you know how to be a better marketer, create your committees in order to prove your ideas, and propose yourself to coordinate ideas and to lead on projects, because leading and teaching is the way of advancing. I think you have to trust your madness. There's not a crazy idea unless you execute it. So trust that your madness is taking you to see things out of the box, and follow your intuition. I think we need to understand generational differences. With United Nations and the International Science Council, 2 new reports have been produced, and one of them dedicated to understand the generational differences. And I think it is a very good exercise that we could do in order to be more equitative, and thinking that it's not because I am senior that I have the reason to do or to make decisions. And the same with young people. We need to share more our skills. We need to learn how to be diplomatic. And if you are the person that is the smarter person in the room, you are in the wrong room. You need to be beside brilliant people, intelligent people, people that communicates and sells and works better than you, because that is a way of learning. Being in contact with brilliant people, and raising up our skills and creating opportunities for everybody to shine. I think those are most of the lessons that I could share.
Wow, amazing lessons. I think, I learned so much. I loved all the things that you said, and I would have loved to hear all of this, I think, also 10 years ago. Would have been perfect. But now it's great as well. I think I love the fact, of you telling us to surround ourselves with people who know more than us, who are like really brilliant in all of this, because we can learn so much also from so many different fields, like we did today with you. And we will also continue to trust our madness, and of course, also being part of a community, what you said, is also a big, also of course a big part of the web. And I really hope that we can, all continue being part of this community as well, and to also continue our cooperation, of course. And really, I want to thank you so much for this interview, and of course, I really hope that we can welcome you to our main event in Berlin, and learn even more about your everything that you have to tell us about science.
I would love to be able to contribute to the Women Economic Forum in Germany.
No, te agradecemos muchísimo, Carolina. Ha sido increíble tener esta entrevista contigo, aprender más de ti. Tú sabes de que Janina tiene una experticia más en defensa y diplomacia y yo más en finanzas, así que saber de toda tu carrera, saber de todos los retos que has tenido, también es un campo muy interesante, la ciencia, la tecnología y el impacto que tiene en todo el desarrollo del mundo. Tú haces la diferencia en todas las cosas que haces, eres una mujer admirable. Aprendemos muchísimo de ti, entonces te lo agradezco muchísimo. Ha sido muy inspirador también las palabras que dijiste y me siento muy orgullosa y muy feliz de que podamos pertenecer a las mismas redes de mujeres en el que podamos apoyarnos y ayudarnos desde diferentes áreas en las cuales nos fortalecemos muchísimo más. Me queda muchísimo el tema de la creatividad. Muchísimas veces creemos que no hacemos un impacto, que no hacemos lo suficiente. Creo que nos damos muy duro a veces como mujeres, siempre tratando de mostrar lo mejor, pero somos increíbles siendo nosotras mismas y más cuando nos unimos entre más mujeres, pues hacemos una fuerza casi que imparable. Entonces, te agradezco muchísimo por todo eso. And also, I would like to say to all our audience to follow us on our social media. Thank you so much for watching us. And if you'd like to stay tuned for all this Paris interview, we have to line up. And thank you again to you, Carolina, for everything. It was a real pleasure to have you here.
You're tremendously generous with everything you said about me. I am just a server. Please use me whenever you need me to contribute, to call women for action, to speak about intuition. I think that is a subject that will occupy more than 1 hour speaking, and how developing that skill is important. And we as women have it naturally, but I think we don't train it much. And if we will train more our intuition, we will make more happy decisions. No, it is different from the heart, and we need to clarify that when we make decisions with the heart, we are doing it with our head. But if we start making decisions with our stomach, with our guts, now with our microbiota inside our guts, I think that should be something that we should study more in order to be more intuitive, more sensitive, more empathic, more collective, and trying to think about our world as our main purpose. No, is about our planet, our about consensus among the species. We have many capacities that can be used to save our planet. So I think that is the invitation to be more creative around solutions, because that is what we're needing more than ever.
That's true. Yeah, thank you so much. That's a beautiful end to our interview, I think.
Fantastic. Yeah. Very looking forward to continue the discussion, or celebrating more events together as a strong community. So
yeah, we have to saw you soon. Thank you for everything.
Thank you so much. Should I end the recording and then I push end, right?